Dear Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to thank Professor Kashai for this unique opportunity to share our opinions and to discuss our visions regarding the future of Europe. As it was mentioned earlier in the morning, long-lasting crises in the EU have created an atmosphere of uncertainty, fear and tension. Citizens do not believe politicians or European institutions that they could be protected from negative impacts of current crisis. On the other hand, politicians are not able, on the national as well as European level, cannot explain citizens the benefits of the presented solutions and advantages of particular EU policies. It results in continuous decline of trust in the EU. The Bratislava summit was an impulse to strategic political reflection, which should which could be a new vision of Europe. Therefore, it is quite understandable that the Bratislava Declaration and the Bratislava Roadmap focus not only on the economic project of the EU, but also want to improve opportunities and conditions for the growth of young people. The vision of New Europe introduces environment which is supportive of new ideas and innovative thinking. It shows us the place where creative ideas and improvements are implemented. It is the vision introducing an attractive environment which helps to achieve goals and to develop skills and talent of young people. The vision of New Europe represents union of countries which guarantees their citizens peace, freedom, safety and prosperity. To make the vision a reality, we need to take advantage of traditional methods, new thinking and innovative policies, which will quickly respond to global trends and to the needs of the Europeans. Our policies have to inspire citizens to positively influence the environment and to strengthen European value system. The key to a new, dynamic and prosperous Europe is their citizens, mainly the young people, whose abilities, skills and talents and creativity will certainly increase the productivity and innovation, which are the main sources of economic development and European welfare. The key factor will be the education and close link between education system and demands of labor market. Special focus will be needed to gaining new skills, mainly the ones related to the arrival of digital era and common usage of digital technologies in technologically equipped and constantly changing working environment. Nowadays, the vision of New Europe is supported by plans and projects of the EU in the area of energy, environment and digital single market, which will be the topic of my speech today. It is known that the EU, in which imports 53% of its energy, makes it the top importer of energy in the world. The EU energy market consists of 28 national markets with their own regulatory framework, is insufficiently unified and the energy prices are high. New Europe is in the need of unified energy market which will increase energy safety, effectiveness and will support decarbonization and increase of competitiveness of European economy. The recent conference in Marrakesh proved that we are globally switching to renewable source of energy, and our joint effort today towards a low carbon economy should result in carbon neutral economy by 2050. This is the aim of the Energy Union project, which endeavors to transform European energy system with the aim to build a resistant energy union with ambitious climate policy, providing safe, competitive and affordable energy for the EU consumers. European low-carbon economy with high energy efficiency will naturally lead to complete decarbonization of industry in New Europe. To fulfill this ambition might help the nuclear energy, which produces 27% of electricity, and renewable energy that nowadays produces nearly 16% of electricity, which is twice as much as it was in 2004, can help to meet the decarbonization target. In line with the Europe 2020 strategy, the EU wants to achieve 20% of electricity from renewable resources in 2020, and by 2030 this contribution should go up to 27%. New Europe should be the society with low greenhouse gas emissions, which should go to the 80 to 95% of the 1990 level by 2050. The target should be met also by the strict implementation of Paris Climate Agreement, which came to force on the 4th of November 2016, as well as strictly abiding by the energy strategy by 2030, which determines at least 40% cut in greenhouse gas emission compared to the 1990 level. The switch to low-carbon economy demands changes in business environment and also in investment behavior, because the introduction of clean technologies will be needed in all the sectors of economy, mainly in energy sector, industry, transport, construction industry, and agriculture. Electricity and biofuels could particularly replace fossil fuels in transport and heating. Smart technology solutions such as smart energy, smart grids, and smart buildings will increase the efficiency of energy consumption, cut greenhouse gas emissions, and will help to build new effective infrastructure called smart cities and smart transportations, which is needed in New Europe because the economy of the 21st century will be based on processing of data, renewable energy, and share of goods and services. The switch to circular economy, which preserves the value of goods, materials, and sources for the longest possible period and eliminates the production of waste, is a significant contribution to development of sustainable, low-carbon, competitive, and effective economy. What makes New Europe different is better design of products, which will result in more effective production of goods and easier recycling. The European Commission estimates that waste reduction of eco-design goods and their use could annually save to Europe enterprises 6,000 billion euros or 8% of annual turnover, which would cut greenhouse gases emissions by 2 to 4% per year. The EU Action Plan for the Circular Economy from December 2015 is a good move because it clearly specifies actions which will close the loop of circular economy and cover the whole product life cycle, from the production, from the waste management and the market for secondary raw materials. The EU ambition is to recycle 65% of municipal waste, 75% of packaging waste, and to reduce landfill to maximum of 10% of municipal waste by 2030. Now let me shortly talk about the digital economy. Ever since we discovered that progress is based on appropriate organizations of ones and zeros, our lives have started to change substantially. Analog phones were replaced with smartphones and analog TV signals with Ultra HD TV. More and more we talk about autonomous vehicles which are controlled completely by a computer and navigation system. We talk about smart cities where buildings are operating themselves, and we hear about smart crossroads changing themselves according to traffic. We are talking about the world that will be automatic, effective, and digital. This is not sci-fi from the year 2100. Big part of this vision is reality right now on the threshold of digital age. If something is not digital today, it will probably be tomorrow. Without doubt, information and communication technologies are becoming core of all the modern and innovative economic systems. Popularity of internet and digital technologies change our lives and the ways we work. Expansion and speed of these changes come with enormous opportunities for innovations, development and employment in the new digital Europe, where information and communication technologies will be integrated into each sector of economy and society. However, Europe has to deal with online barriers which do not allow citizens and enterprises to make full use of products and services available on digital market. Online markets are mostly domestic. Only 15% of citizens shop online from another country of the EU, and only 7% of small and medium-sized enterprises sell their products and services cross-border. Therefore, this is the most appropriate time to guarantee not only free movement of goods, services and capital on the European digital market, but also free movement of data, which could be the fifth freedom of the EU. The free movement of data would apply to every individual and enterprise regardless of the nationality and country. Citizens would have an access to data and would be free to represent themselves online in accordance with the rules of economic competition and on condition of high level of personal data protection. This is the ambition of the EU, which wants to shape single market according to the demands of digital age, to clear the regulatory barriers of 28 national markets and to replace them by single digital market, which should earn European economy 415 billion euros annually and offer hundreds of thousands of new opportunities. However, digitally skilled labor force will be needed because as many as 90% of employments will demand the certain level of digital skills. Hardly half of the EU population is currently ready for the new opportunities. State Secretary Švejna previously mentioned that 70 million people are currently not able to work with information or computer technologies. However, the good news is that all the bills needed for building the digital single European market should be introduced by the European Commission by the end of 2016. Therefore, we can assume that since the second half of 2017, the EU citizens will be able to use their mobile phones in the EU countries without extra charges, and soon they will have access to services, movies, music, and sports content wherever in the EU, regardless of borders. However, the vision of New Europe is far more complex. It shows us the world where we will work harder with our brain, not hands, where research and innovation will be more important than production, where creative ideas will be appreciated more than machines, and where positive thinking individual will be the most precious part of society and the whole system. Personally, I'm very happy that Slovak presidency of the Council of the EU significantly contributed via the projects of the Energy Union and Digital Single Market to building New Europe. Thank you for your attention.